Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. We have had an interesting day, a little bit of movement in the markets, but still big anticipation for what is going on tomorrow. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow and the next day, so it should be exciting. Quick little look at today. You can see that U.S. markets, we're getting a little bit of a late start today, but there hasn't been much movement in the last several hours. U.S. markets closed a little bit positive, about 12 points up on the Dow, a little bit negative in the S&P. Oil's up just a little bit, gold's pretty flat, just kind of one of those days. We didn't have a lot of significant news today, although we did have this morning we had the CPI from Switzerland, as well as interest rates out of Canada, and those remain unchanged, so no major change there. As far as some bigger news coming out that can get the market really scooting, keep an eye on the Australian employment numbers. Those are coming out in just about 2.5 hours or so, and that should get the market moving. So if anybody that has any Australian trades in the works, that's going to be the thing to keep an eye out on. We should have some good moves there, and we'll talk about that chart in just a moment. However, coming into tomorrow, good grief, it's going to be a just fun-filled morning, so be ready for everything. We have pound dollar announcements. We've got this coming up, or pound dollar, pound anything. We have UK, the official interest rate announcement for tomorrow. As you can see, there's no expected change. Also, we have some announcements on the asset purchasing program, basically their bond buying program as well. So that's going to be talked about tomorrow. And then we have a rate statement. So that's going to be active. That always gets things moving. And then, of course, we have the interest rate announcement for Europe. That gets things moving. Then we have non-farm, the ADP non-farm report for the U.S., kind of the precursor of the official non-farm, which is on Friday. And then we have the ECB press conference. This is the big one. The press conference is going to be a big deal, and then Draghi speaking is going to be a big deal. Both of these are happening tomorrow. It's just going to be probably a ton of wildness, so be ready for that. And then remember, on Friday we have non-farm payroll, and that'll be open for everybody, so visitors are all welcome to join us for that. It should be some excitement for that. Now, everything is still just going quite a bit, channeled. If we look at a lot of these pairs on the larger time frames, this is now representing, this is the euro dollar, and this is now representing a 3-week period. And so over the last 3 weeks, we've seen that the euro dollar really hasn't moved a ton. It's been in this channel, which is, let's not sneeze at it. It's about 150 pip channel, but that's a pretty small channel to be in for almost a month now. And it's just been up and down, just sideways. We get these little drops and little spikes, and we've made some money on some of these breaks, and it's a little choppy. It looks a little more drastic on this time frame here, but really what we're looking for is to get back below this area, which is about 124.50-60. That's going to really constitute a nice trend line break on this daily chart and should get things really rolling down. So about 124.50-60 will be kind of the area to watch for there. And likewise on the upside here, you can see that we've got some highs. The highest point here is about 126.37, and that's good. But if we get an opportunity where we see the 4-hour chart open above 126.10, I will take that as well. We have a lot of long wicks and a lot of things that have tried to happen here that have been unable to happen, and so once again, a 4-hour open above this would be very bullish for the pair and give it a nice run up. But remember, the interest rate announcement, the Draghi's speech, the ECB press conference, all of that is going to be hugely volatile for the euro dollar. We know a little bit about what he's going to talk about, but there's still some surprises we don't know about yet, so just be very, very careful. This is going to be very volatile tomorrow. But today, we'll probably just see, tonight, UK session, we'll probably just see this thing kind of, scoot along. Nothing too major either way. So at this point, look for some movement off of these highs. You can see these long wicks. We have some various types of patterns here that are letting us know there's some reversals besides this triple top in place. So a break above this, up above this 126.10-20 area would be a nice little run, and I would be definitely interested in taking some of that. But remember, we need an open on the 4-hour chart above. This was a level talked about yesterday, 125.50-60. You can see that we broke nicely above that. And had a good little trade in the works there, and really, again, it's going to be all about this larger channel, 126.10, 124.60 area. So that's kind of what we're looking for on the euro dollar. But remember, with the news tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit crazy as to what we see happen. pound dollar, a couple of things to look at here. I've got a lot of levels, so sorry that's crowded and a little bit hard to see, but I wanted to mark a few things. 159.00, which is a crucial level. 159.12, which was the high back here. And then we have our fib level, which is about 159.10. So between 159.00 and 159.12, we have all kinds of resistance and tough areas for the market to get through. Now, we had this run up, this big spike on the pound dollar, spiked up, and then it just kind of pulled back and is consolidating just above 159.00. So we're looking for this to still break out up. If we look at it on the daily chart, you can see that it's been consolidating, and then we had a nice steady run, and it's consolidating again, and it's trying to break above that 61.8, above this little double top here. So we'll see if it makes it. We'll see if it makes it. But there's a lot of big news coming out for the UK, so we may not see a lot of movement until we start until tomorrow morning with the interest rate announcement, the asset purchasing program details, and all of that. So keep an eye on what we see happen there. But I'm just, for the short term, I'm looking for just some trend lines. This thing's coming into contact with just above the 200-day moving average on the 15-minute chart. It's above the daily pivot. A lot of good things are happening here. So I'm just kind of watching this trend line, looking for this to get back up above about 159. 10, 12 area, and then we should have a nice little opportunity to take this pair higher. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. But again, big channel, and we're just kind of watching to see where this thing goes. If this is to reverse on us and head the other direction, watch a break of 158.50. 158.50 is still crucial. I'd actually like to see an open below this level, but it can be traded on a break as well. We're going to have some resistance from the trend line, but I think there's a nice big move in there if we get back below 158.50. So just keep that in mind as well. Euro yen has been horrifically choppy, like the euro dollar, and again it looks really crazy on this 1 hour chart. If we zoom it out just a little bit, again 3 weeks this thing has been between 9,800 and 9,900. So when we get that break, whenever it happens, we should get some nice movement, whether it's above 9,900 or below 9,800. These are kind of the levels I'm looking for. Yes, we do have some little trading opportunities. This was one of our trades from the UK notes back over here. The UK notes the other night, we had a sell off of this reversal off the high here, and it ran nicely, and here as well. And so look for reversals, look for pin bars, look for things to reverse off the top or the bottom of the channel, but we're probably not going to see too many more of those before the big news hits. And when that ECB news hits tomorrow morning, the euro yen is going to break out and go crazy as well. So really all we have to look at and keep an eye on is 98 and 9,900, and getting out of this channel on the euro yen. And you can see that this thing is consolidated nicely below on the daily chart, 9,900. A break above that should take the pair almost immediately into 100.50. So we've got a nice 150 pip run if we get above 9,900. So be ready for that, be watching for that, and be ready for the movement. We had some nice pips on the Aussie dollar. Like I mentioned, this is a good area for some retracement. It's just sitting at the 10200 area on the moving average, on the 38% fib, and so on. And it's just a little bit below the 38% fib, but this is a good spot for it to come back. But once again, we have employment news, and those numbers can be pretty big on the movement for the Aussie dollar. So a few things to keep an eye on is just watch some of these trend lines, and keep an eye on some of these breakouts and so on in this little area. You can see that 15-minute chart. We have a nice little trend line there, and some good things in the works. So watch for a break of that and a run down into that daily pivot. There should be about 25 pips or so there. That's going to be below about 101.90, and we'll be targeting right around 101.60 if that happens. Otherwise, you can see that we have a little bit of there's just a little bit of resistance at about 10200 right in that general area. So an open above that, which would put us above the daily pivot as well, should get this pair running up into probably our 100-day moving average area, which is around 40 to 50 pips. So keep an eye on that. Gold's a little sideways. We're not doing too much with that for the moment, but again, breakouts on gold will be nice. It's been several days now that it's stuck between about 1686 and about 1696, so about a $10 channel right there. So keep an eye on that. Look for some of those breakouts, and then again, we'll have a live session. Everybody's welcome to join for the non-farm payroll on Friday morning, and then Thursday morning is going to be a massive bundle of news. So be ready for that, and be in the chat and ready to go bright and early. We've got a lot of things to look at. Best of luck, guys. I'll see you in the chat, and I'll have updates coming out on Twitter. Thanks, everyone.